Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, inhabitants of the Delta Quadrant, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, your majesty, welcome to Deek Jackson's End of the World show. Oh, I think I'm getting deja vu. In fact, yesterday's show was so crap and riven with technical difficulties, I've decided to make this one again. Same stuff, slightly better audio and video, I hope. Let's see what happens. Remember, the planet's fucked, it's your fault, and it's getting worse. Well, band was playing Dixie, I was marching to the beat. I heard the call of liberty, my destiny I'll meet. They say my country needs me to come along for the ride. And I hear we're fighting evil and God is on my side. Freedom, yeah, we got lots of freedom and you need freedom. Yeah, we got lots of dumb and it's free. Yeah, we got lots of dumb and it's free. So, saddle up and sing along, 'cause people got to know freedom needs us all to be stars in the show. Now I know it seems a little odd and it seems a little strange how your liberty can disappear in freedom's name. Freedom, we got all the freedom that you need. Freedom, we got lots of dumb and it's free. So freedom, won't you give me one more reason to go off and wear a uniform and say it's all for you? Oh, freedom, won't you tell me how killing in your name is the best idea we got and from where it came? Freedom, yeah, we got all the freedom that you need. Yeah, we got lots of dumb and it's free. Band was playing Dixie, I was marching to the beat. I heard the call of liberty, my destiny I'll meet. And they say my country needs me to come along for the ride. And I hear we're fighting evil and God is on my side. Freedom, oh, we got all the freedom that you need. Freedom, yeah, we got lots of dumb and it's free. Freedom for everyone. Plenty to go around. There is no shortage of dumb. If you need some dumb, we've got enough dumb for everyone. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome once again to the End of the World show, which was blighted by technical problems yesterday, poor bandwidth, crappy audio, etc. I will be unlisting the previous show, but I will put a link to it in the information for this show. So if you did like the turn of phrase or the content in some minor way of last night's show, you can still watch that if you saw that. If you didn't see that show, just watch this one. It's got better graphics and I'm better dressed. Okay, so let me just have a quick look at the comments, because it occurs to me that I'm often quite distracted by the performance and I seldom respond to comments. So what have we got here? I've been good, thanks. Excellent song, thank you. Audio is better today, I'm glad to hear it. I'm having trouble seeing this without my big glasses. Look at this, check it out. Oh yeah. America is a wholly owned subsidiary of Israel. Oh yeah, how to grow grass. Well, I may do how to grow grass in another show. You never know. Now then, this is not the fucking news. But for people who miss the fucking news, let's see if I can't do something nostalgic. Da-da-bing, ba-da-bang. Something like this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fucking news. I'm barely human. Here are the headlines tonight. A deadly plague is sweeping Earth. Many people are already dead. Millions more are infected. Billions are at risk. Symptoms include blind obedience, unquestioned acceptance of unverified facts, plaintive whinging, demands for more loss of liberty, tyrannical powers for unelected officials, Quango UN agencies, and that guy who tells you to stand behind the red line at the post office. You know the guy I'm talking about, or Walmart. It's coronavirus. Coronavirus is highly infectious, and once... Coronavirus is highly infectious. Once you become stupid and slavish, all the people you contact are in danger of becoming subservient and dumb as well. Coronavirus is spread through government organs, media outlets, and gaps in your intelligence. A predisposition to not questioning authority may put you at a higher risk, and early analysis of deaths show that people incapable of critical thinking and lacking a desire to search the internet for themselves are most at risk. The World Hoax Organization has called for all the nations of Earth to suspend normal brain activity, the economy, and Andre Rieu concerts until a vaccine can be developed or Andre Rieu stops touring, whichever comes first. Until then, a complete lockdown of society has been ordered. People must practice anti-social distancing and wear a concerned face when using public transport. Coronavirus started in China's Wuhan city and province late last year, spreading quickly to the rest of the world thanks to really stupid decisions to let infected Chinese people fly all over the world. Who'd have thought? Conspiracy theorists have made wild accusations about coronavirus escaping from that level 4 biosecurity lab in Wuhan that was conducting research into how to make people stupid with a virus. These theories have absolutely no credibility whatsoever, and it's just a coincidence that a laboratory researching this kind of virus and how it could be used to create a pandemic in humans was going on in Wuhan. It's just a coincidence that gain of function research, where they try to find out how they can make viruses go from bats to humans, was being conducted in a laboratory in Wuhan, where the bat virus managed to get to infect humans. That's just a coincidence, and you'd be a fool or a communist to think otherwise. There's nothing suspicious about that at all, or that lab was funded by America and France to replace the level 3 lab in Wuhan, which let the SARS virus escape twice in 2004. Google this, people. It's true. We couldn't even keep smallpox in a jam jar. We have let every deadly pathogen that we fuck about with escape. We're not smart enough to look after deadly pathogens, it would appear. So that lab that was funded by America and France to replace a lab that let SARS escape twice in 2004, there's a really good reason why France and America need a level 4 bioweapons lab, bioresearch lab in China, the world's most secretive and tyrannical regime, instead of at home where people could ask questions or poke about. And it's just unfortunate that American diplomats visited the lab 2 years ago and said, this place is totally unsafe. Anything could happen here. Nobody's trained properly and they have very slack management practice. Why, the virus could possibly escape. I mean, a virus, not the virus, the one that we're working on. Not that we are working on one. Anyway, best we shut up now. Because now people might think there's something to hide in Wuhan and begin demanding, a fucking investigation by the UN, by the World Health Organization. Let's have a look at the paperwork, shall we? November the 17th, successfully transmuted bat virus through a pangolin. Sure you did. To humans. I'm just saying, perhaps we should look at the paperwork, just to be sure that it didn't come from there. Very good. Where was I? Oh yes, I seem to have wandered off topic. The lying, murdering scum that rule over us with no trouble at all have released a virus they invented to excuse the implementing of fascist draconian laws allowing total control over our lives while they cook up a fantasy solution to climate change. The biggest fuck up on Earth ever since humans evolved. And that fantasy solution won't work and we'll all die and they'll live, which is what they want. They want to kill us so they can live. We are not part of their solution. Not even the final solution. Not even an intermediary solution or the beginnings of a solution. Stand by for one world government, famine, war, genocide, depopulation, and Netflix lowering its streaming resolution to 0. There now follows a public service announcement. Okay, thanks, and welcome back to the end of the fucking world, or the end of the world, if you like it without swearing. I will try not to swear so much. Maybe some of you want to show this to your children or your grandma. I don't know. So, the public service announcement today concerns the ongoing stupidity and dumbness of the coronavirus narrative. Now, I don't know how it went in your country, but one of the things in this country that happened was, when it first started, the government said, masks don't work. Masks are not effective. And then, shortly afterwards, they said, our health workers and frontline responders don't have enough masks. And then now, towards the end, or, wherever we are in the timeline of fuck-up that is the coronavirus, they're saying, you have to wear a mask to use public transport, or in some cases go to work or go to Starbucks or whatever. And I thought I would do a little public service by explaining to people about masks who may or may not be aware of masks and what masks can and can't do for you and why or why not you should wear a mask. So let's go over the mask conundrum. And because wherever I go, I see dumb people who don't know fuck all and seem to be relying on the government to inform them. This is a bad idea, people. The government is not your friend. The government is not giving you good advice. The government's experts are people they selected to give them the advice they want, not the right advice at all. Do not listen to the government. Do not rely upon the government. I repeat, the government is not your friend. So here's some stuff you should know about masks. Okay? Let's start at the bottom. Here's the first kind of mask. You may have seen masks like this going about, okay? This mask is called a WTFU. Okay, this kind of mask, it's the cloth mask, the bandana mask, the surgical mask, yeah? It's the sort of thing that they kind of you see all the time. You know, you mostly see people with this mask on. This is the WTFU mask. That is worse than fucking useless. This mask is no good at all for anything except disguising your face from facial recognition cameras. Yeah, that's all this mask's good for. Hey, you can't see me? Now you see me, now you don't. That's what this mask is for. Worse than fucking useless. If you're worried about the coronavirus, that mask, not gonna help. Don't buy one, don't wear one. Worse than fucking useless. The fact is, there's a well-known science about masks. Anyone who believed the government when they said masks don't work is a gold-plated, copper-bottomed moron, and they deserve to suck in the coronavirus and die from it. Masks plainly work. Ask scuba divers or spacemen if masks work, or paint sprayers, you know, or the such. Let me show you some masks that actually work. Okay. Here's a mask that works, all right? This is the minimum you need to protect yourself, should you wish to, in certain circumstances, from a virus, whatever that might be. Okay, this is an FP2 mask, okay? And some of the defining features of this mask are that it has, I don't know if you can see that, try and get good light on that. It has this plastic valve, which is called a respirator valve, and it allows the moist air from your mouth to go out of the mask and let the filter stay dry, so that when you breathe in, the valve shuts and the filter cleans the air. Fine particle 2, the very minimum you need to exclude viruses from your airway. Fine particle 2. I got these on Screwfix, the equivalent of America's Home Depot, but you can also get them in the UK on Amazon. If the NHS are short of masks, perhaps they could go on the internet and buy them. I did. It's just an idea. By the way, while we're talking about shortages of masks, in Britain they built 6 emergency hospitals. The Nightingale hospitals. Oh, the TV was full of our brave men, women, building those emergency hospitals and stocking them with beds and ventilators made by Formula One people, which have never been used. Never been used. No one ever went to any of those hospitals. Never went to those hospitals. Britain never got overwhelmed by the virus. Our NHS never got overwhelmed, and we didn't need those hospitals, but we did run out of masks. Just a thought, but maybe we could have built 6 mask factories. I mean, since masks are a thing, and we're so short of them, and they totally work, and the NHS really needs them, our frontline staff can't get enough masks. Well, they can't get enough masks. This is the 21st century. We are at the zenith of mass production consumerism. We can't make 2-bit masks, 2-cent, $1 masks in the middle of the world's most dangerous pandemic ever. We can't make a fucking 90-cent mask. It's getting cheaper every time I say it. By the time I finish this paragraph, masks will be free and given away at the entrance to your shops, like condoms were in the AIDS epidemic. Does anybody remember that? It's odd that, isn't it? That the thing that would protect you from the virus isn't being given away, even though it's incredibly cheap and easy to make, and they haven't made any extra capacity to manufacture the masks which work and would protect you from the virus. Isn't that odd? Does anybody else think that's a little odd? Gee, sometimes I think we're not getting the real skinny from the government, or that they're making this shit up to serve some other kind of narrative, you know? Like there's some other kind of story going on they're not telling us about, and they tell us this bullshit. Man, see if Elvis came back from the dead and released a new single and you wanted to buy a copy. In this wonderful 21st century world of mass consumerism and mass production, even if you lived at the South Pole, they would make a copy and ship it to you. Anybody who wants to buy a copy of Elvis's new single should have the opportunity. I swear, if Buzz Lightyear came out this year and you wanted to buy one for Christmas, they'd be in the shops and you could buy them at $29.99. So where are the fucking masks? Okay, I digress. Where were we? That was an FP2. Okay, that was an FP2 mask. It cost me the equivalent of about £1.50. I got them in a pack of 3 for £5. So, you know, good value. FP2. Minimum requirement for protecting you from viruses. This, all right, this is FP3. That's one level better than FP2. I like this mask. I wear this when I go to the shops just to freak people out because they've all got bits of cloth on which are worse than fucking useless. This features a respirator valve so your moist air doesn't create a pathway for the virus to get down your throat. A really tight fitting face shape to exclude the outside air with the pathogen from getting in your airway. Good elastication to keep it on your face. Cracking. I might even just put this on. Yeah, FP3! Check it out. Fine particle 3. Not only will exclude viruses and bacteria, but also a number of airborne chemicals. It's the kind of thing a paint sprayer would wear, or somebody who's in a dangerous chemical factory, something like that. So it goes beyond the virus and the bacteria into chemical particles. Okay. We're not finished though. We've got a long way to go. Bear with me. Check this out.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, that's more like it. This is a Finnish riot mask. Yeah, this will protect riot police from CS gas, viruses, other airborne pathogens, and chemicals in paint spray or other dangerous environments. Yeah, Finnish riot mask. No fucking about at a riot. This totally works.
Masks. They work. They're freely available. That mask cost me £20 on eBay. I recommend if you've got £20 you get yourself on eBay and buy such a mask, because the future may be even more dangerous than the present, and it will definitely be more dangerous than the past. Moving on, here's another mask that totally works. Yeah, this mask totally works. Luke, I am your father. Oh no, it's not Darth Vader, it's me. I'm in a welding mask. This particular welding mask is called AdFlow, and it features... This mask features an air breathing, you can see that there. Alright, this mask pumps clean filtered air from a belt backpack into your face, right, into this hooded area there, so that you breathe only clean filtered air. Also has a nice welding mask there, which is solar powered and comes on automatically for welding. Now, it's a bit cumbersome. I usually just wear some goggles to weld unless I'm going to do a lot of welding and I don't want to breathe in cancerous shit, because this mask totally works. About £150. It's expensive, but you know, what's your life worth? What is your life really worth? And finally,
This mask is the standard issue, or was, the British Army standard issue gas mask. This is effective against bacteria, viruses, chemicals, and radioactive particles. That's right. This is the, you'd have to put the filter on here, you know, but once you've done that, you're good to go.
yeah. This was the British standard gas mask for many years. The Avon Mark III, I think. Effective against bacteria, viruses, chemicals, and radioactive particles. Pretty good. Cost me £30 on eBay. With the filters. I'm not going to waste a filter by cracking it open from its sealed container and screwing it in there. But you get the picture. You get the picture. Masks work. Masks work from FP2, which cost, if you mass produce them, pennies, cents, all the way up to hundreds of pounds. Masks work. So, when should you wear a mask? Well, when you're welding. when you're at a riot, after they've dropped a nuclear weapon, if you're paint spraying, if Starbucks make it compulsory, and if you're on a bus in Wuhan near the Bio4 security lab. Just a thought. But those are the places you should wear a mask. Wear masks are no help. Masks outside are no use at all. Not because if there was a pathogen it wouldn't help you, but because it's almost unheard of for anyone to catch a virus in the open sunlit air. That's on, unless somebody comes up and spits down your throat. Wearing masks in the open air is unnecessary because the threat of transmission is almost none at all. Nothing at all. Outdoors, we could all have been going outdoors all together. I practice social distancing anyway because I hate people. So the government didn't need to tell me to keep away from people because I wouldn't be going near any. I mean, who goes near people except at the shops to pay for things? So outdoors, we could all have been outdoors all the time without masks, no problem. And anyway, just while we're on the subject, I'm going to see if I can get this this video to work. Okay. While we're on the subject, this is a virus, by the way, that would struggle to kill my gran. This is a virus that 80% of 80-year-old people survive. This is a virus which, so far, globally, has killed less people than the war in Yemen or the after party from the Rwandan genocide. Man, even half a Gulf War has killed more people than this virus. So, let me ask you a question. When did we start giving a fuck about life? Because that's the story, isn't it? Stay home, save lives, protect the blah blah. When did we start giving a fuck about life? Did I miss a meeting? Because I had a look around the world recently, and it looks like we don't give a fuck about life at all. I can't help but observe we're still shipping bombs to Saudi Arabia to bomb sand niggers in the Yemen. That America is still arming the regime of General Assisi in Egypt, who's just rounded up another dozen journalists to kill them. Hey, do you remember Khashoggi? Do you remember the Saudi Arabians killed Khashoggi and they called Khashoggi a journalist because he wrote an article in the New York Times once, and there was this big, oh no, Saudi Arabia killed a journalist. It's awful. Man, Egypt's rounding them up in their dozens. Man, if you're a journalist in Egypt, you're like an endangered species. They even kill foreign journalists. Nobody gives a fuck. We don't give a fuck about life. When did we start giving a fuck about life? I'm confused. Do we give a fuck about South American life? Central American life? Do you know the drug war in Mexico has killed more people than the coronavirus? So, if we were concerned about life, one of the things we could perhaps do is legalize all drugs, and then people in Mexico wouldn't be dying in their hundreds of thousands to protect a business which need not exist. Just a thought. Just a thought. When did we start giving a fuck about life? In fact, excuse me. Let me just check some comments here. Let it be. No spitting down the throat. I agree. The government should come out and make a bold statement on this. No spitting down the throat. Damn. Yeah, starve, be submissive, protect the rich. Freedom kissing not allowed. Yeah, creatures of habit. Indeed. And no matter how cynical you become, it's never enough to keep up. Lily Tomlin. I agree. No matter how weird you think it is, it keeps getting weirder. And it still ain't weird enough for me. It really ain't. It ain't weird enough for me because I happen to know it's gonna get weirder. Real weird. So after last week's show, not yesterday's, which this is a repeat of, but after last week's show, in some comments, because the premise of this show, I should perhaps explain the premise of this show. The premise of this show is that catastrophic climate change is a thing. The few wealthy people who own and control all of the world's valuable resources have come to understand that it's a thing, and that it represents a real and existential risk to their survival, and that shit will have to be done about that. And we're not part of that solution. In fact, we're part of the problem. There's just too many of us, folks. There's just too many of us. And they'd like us all to go away so that they can save themselves. The Queen doesn't want plastic in her lobster anymore. The Pope doesn't want to share the world with a bunch of sinners. The Masons, they just think it would be a good thing, like a farmer looking out on his field and realizing, well, we bred too many sheep. We'll just go and kill a few billion. This is the premise of this show. You are about to not be. Maybe you may live out your life, that's fine. You may watch people in the third, fourth and fifth world die in their millions or billions because of climate change. And your government may tell you everything's going to be fine and hand out some Soylent Green to you, or Kendall Mint Cake, if you're lucky. But at the end of the day, climate change is real. Climate change is a big fucking problem, and climate change is going to change life on this planet in significant ways, really significant ways. We're already in the world's biggest mass extinction for 65 million years, and the size of things that go extinct is getting bigger. We're on the list. Mass extinction is coming for us, climate change is coming for us, and the problem with climate change is it's a predicament, not a problem. Problems have solutions, predicaments just have consequences. The problem with climate change is it's already done. It's already done. It's already happened. It was done 20 years ago, and now we're just going to live with the consequences. I'll come to that later in the show. But first, I'd like to deal with chemtrails. What about... Let me see if I can get this other video up. Not that one. Ah, yes. Okay. Chemtrailers. Tell me, and so do other people. I'm sure chemtrailers are not alone. Quite a few people told me after last week's show, oh, there's no such thing as anthropogenic climate change. It's all a big hoax. It's part of the lie, blah, 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 blah. And they also told me that really, the real geoengineering taking place on planet Earth is being done by chemicals being sprayed by aeroplanes in some kind of global conspiracy to blah, 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 blah. What? What are they doing? What are they spraying? Some people tell you it's barium, man. They're spraying barium on us. Well, what the fuck is barium going to do? Oh no, it's aluminium. Barium and aluminium, by the way, two of the most abundant metal elements in the surface of the Earth. And so just to try and put this in perspective for chemtrailers and people who don't believe in climate change or anthropogenic climate change, let me just lay out a few things for you. Air pollution kills 7 million people a year. Part of that air pollution is the cancerous jet exhaust of jet planes. Jet planes don't need to carry some secret spraying equipment to kill you. Just the existence of a jet fucking plane will kill you. Oh yeah, man. Check it out. Yeah, man. Just planes, just the normal everyday cancerous exhaust fumes of aeroplanes is killing you. And it's making you have dementia and strokes and heart disease. Along with all the cars on planet Earth, air pollution kills 7 million people a year. Heart disease, strokes, cancer, dementia, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm struggling to see what it is that secretly they could be spraying as well as the cancerous jet exhaust. Like there's something else? There's something else worse? But we're not really sure what it is. It might be some sort of secret program to make the upper atmosphere more conductive so that HAARP can blah, 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 blah. 7 million dead people just from car exhausts. and jet exhausts. I mean, that's before we even get into what climate change is going to do to us. Just from sucking in the fossil fuel exhaust, millions of people dead, millions more have their lives shortened, and millions more turned into elderly dementia sufferers, like your grandma who no longer remembers who you are, who you drive to visit in the home, by the way. Asthma, a massive plague of illness in children. Asthma caused by fossil fuel burning. So chemtrailers, it's cars that are geoengineering this planet, not some secret aeroplane spraying thing. My problem with the secret aeroplane spraying thing is there are many. I have many problems with that. First of all, everybody who tells me about chemtrails isn't wearing a fucking mask. All right? So if you're going to tell me they're poisoning us with the... At least do it from behind a fucking mask.
Deek, they're poisoning us with trails of chem. That's why I'm wearing a mask, because they are poisoning us with the thought.
Yeah. I just think you're all fucking idiots. That's the truth. I just think you're all fucking morons. You can barely spell the periodic table. You have no apparent grounding in atmospheric physics or chemistry. And when you do cite some sort of science, you do two things. Chemtrailers do this. I don't believe those scientists. Well, what science do you believe? Are you mounting a scientific proposition about chemtrails? What science do you believe? What are you telling me about barium for if you don't believe in science? You might as well tell me it's raining fucking candy floss if you don't believe... I don't believe in the science. Also, I happen to know a deck technician. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's somebody who waves aeroplanes about at an airport. This guy works at an international airport. He waves planes about all the time. He's never seen any spraying equipment attached to an aeroplane. Never seen any. If he did, he would photograph it and surely put it on the internet where he would become famous. Some more things about chemtrails. The lift capacity of all aeroplanes in the world. Please, get an envelope out and do the math. Just do the math on the back of an envelope. It goes like this. Take all of the aeroplanes in the world, right? Take all the passengers out. Right? And just pretend that you fill all the planes on Earth to their maximum takeoff weight with trail chem, whatever it is, whatever your fanciful idea of trail chem is, they fill it all up, okay? Right? How much is that? How much does that weigh? And how much of that can they put into the atmosphere in, a year? How much is that? In tons. 10,000 tons? 100,000 tons? How much are we talking about going into the atmosphere? Answers on a postcard to me before the end of the world next week, because I'd like to know what you think. Because I'm going to tell you that we, collectively, humanity, are putting 40 billion tons of CO2 into the atmosphere annually. 40 billion tons from the ground up. Goes from the ground up. Apart from the CO2 in aeroplanes, from the ground up, airplanes are 6% of CO2 emissions, by the way. That leaves 94% from the ground up. 94% of 40 billion tons. What does 40 billion tons look like as a volume emitting heat on your planet? Honestly, if there were aliens on another planet with a telescope, they'd be looking at us going, uh-oh, check this out, check it out. They're putting 40 billion tons of a heat-trapping molecule in their atmosphere. What does a ton look like? Ever had a ton of sand delivered? What does a ton of sand look like? Imagine a ton of sand above your head emitting heat. Imagine 10,000 tons of sand above your house emitting heat. Imagine 100,000 tons of sand above your town emitting heat. Imagine 1,000,000 tons of sand. How much is that in cubic volume? Imagine 1,000,000,000 tons. Imagine 40 billion tons of sand every fucking year for the last, decades and decades and decades, up there in the atmosphere emitting heat. These are the basic principles behind what's called global warming. Stuff going into the atmosphere that is heating us up. It's not rocket science, and it's not chemtrails. It's basic science. And I'm disappointed. I really am. I'm disappointed that the internet is full of moon hoaxers, chemtrailers, and Planet X Nibiru tossers who couldn't fucking rub two scientific facts together and get a brain fart. Really? Is this the best we can do? Do you know how the government's going to roll us over, tickle our tummy, and fuck us to death? Because people don't know shit. People don't know shit. Well, I don't know, but how come you don't know? How come you haven't availed yourself of the basic scientific facts underpinning the fucking death of your planet? How come you don't know shit? Look some shit up, read a book, avail yourself of the very real and very pertinent information regarding the greenhouse effect on this planet. Because it's gonna kill you, and your government's gonna let it by omission, by error, or intention. The rulers of this planet are going to let us die or kill us so they can survive, because we are not part of their solution. Okay, well that was fun, wasn't it? And now a word from the show's sponsor, which is me. If you'd like to help me out, buy me a beer, buy me a cup of coffee, help fund my crack habit, you can donate to my Patreon. The details are in the information link in the video. Or you can bid every week. You can bid for a unique original work of art created by me. Last week's work of art, the In God We Trust $1 Great Seal, that sold, and I will be posting that on Monday. And I would just like to say to whoever bought that, if you're watching, or anybody else who does eventually come to own a piece of my work, I am honoured, really and deeply, that anybody would like something I have created in their home and in their life. This week's work of art, which I will try and find an image of. Let's see. This week's work of art. Okay, there you go. This week's work of art is a diagram of an oscillator circuit, an electronic circuit which, if constructed, would go ooh. The circuit is created on a piece of 5mm mild steel plate with a black mill scale. The circuit is drawn out using stainless steel welding rod, which will remain bright and not rusty for thousands of years. It's mounted in a gold frame. Its measurements are 11 inches by 9 inches, including the frame, and it represents a technology and a knowledge base in our civilization, which I hope in the future will be dug up by crocodile people or cockroach people, and they will marvel and wonder, oh goodness me, there must have been an ancient civilization that knew about electronics, because I'm sure that somehow in the future they'll be making synthesizers and electronics as well, even if they're crocodile people. So if you'd like to own this work of art, you can bid on it on eBay right now. It's live. Google oscillator Deek Jackson End of the World Show. You'll find it, or there's a link in the show's information at the end of this show. Oscillator, original work of art, Deek Jackson. Postage in the UK £5, to the rest of the world or America £20. I'm afraid it's quite heavy. It is made of steel. Okay. Alright, back to the show now. Earlier on, I was saying that it's already done. Climate change is already done. The thing that's going to kill us has already happened. It's not gonna happen. It's not happening. It has already happened. See if I can get this one up. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's much better. The planet's fucked, it's your fault, and it's getting worse. How did we fuck the planet? And how do we know it's fucked? Well, it goes like this. Every molecule of CO2 that goes into the atmosphere is capable of trapping heat that rises from the Earth's surface and retransmitting it to the Earth's surface as the molecular bonds vibrate in the infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum, and they re-radiate heat back to the Earth, heat which otherwise would have just escaped to space. This is called the greenhouse effect. It's very real, it's been known about for hundreds of years, and if it weren't for the greenhouse effect, by the way, this planet would be a snowball with no life on it. The greenhouse effect is maintaining at least 16 degrees extra temperature on this planet compared to there being no greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Just Google that shit. Don't give me no chemtrail pish. This is the real deal. The greenhouse effect is real. It keeps this planet warm. Without it, there would be no life. And too much of it, there won't be any big life. Sure, there'll be amoeba. You know, there'll be amoeba, there'll be some little bitty bacteria, maybe some other stuff. But there won't be big mammals. That's us. We're big mammals. Big mammals can't stand a lot of heat. And that's what's coming along, a lot of heat. So it's already done because we already did billions, tens of billions of tons every year for decades. And there is a time lag, a significant time lag between CO2 being emitted. I'm sorry if you already know this, or I apologize if you disagree with me and you think somehow the biggest threat to the earth is Trump not being re-elected, or the government taking away your right to shop more. I don't believe that shit. This is what I believe, so there you go. But it happens to be underpinned by facts, science, knowledge. I'm not going to say truth because I don't necessarily believe in the truth any more than I believe in right and wrong. But I do believe in facts and knowledge. And that's what this is. A CO2 molecule, once emitted, stays in our atmosphere for hundreds of years. But it takes it a certain amount of time to begin re-radiating heat. Now, some scientists say it could be 30 years. Other people say on their studies that it could be 10. So even if we say it's 20 years, this is only the year 2000. It might even only be 1990. And you wait till we catch up with today. Yeah. And now I'm going to try and show you a graph, if I can find it. Let me just have a look. Bear with me. Might be pictures. This might take me a little while. I should have prepared this earlier. I want date created. What I'm looking for is a graph of mass extinctions and the temperatures and CO2 content thereof. Bada bang, should really have found this earlier. Bada bang, 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 bada bang. Oh, maybe it's on the desktop. Let's have a look on the desktop. Not many pics on the desktop, so hopefully it will turn up. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, if you can see that, global CO2 emissions, 1900 to present. This is about the drop in CO2 from the coronavirus. Now, okay, so this is why, I believe, this is why we're under lockdown, lock-up, fuck-down, because the prediction is the biggest single drop in CO2 ever, because of the lockdown. And there's just no way, like a giant super tanker trying to turn round, there's just no way the world's rulers, the Queen, the Pope, the Masonburgers, the Rockerchilds, could turn round to the media and say, start telling people consumerism's over and they have to stay home, work from home and not eat to get the emissions to come down. Otherwise, we're all going to die. So instead, they're coming at us with a tangent to begin with. They're going to come at us with this tangent. Oh, there's a virus which is never going to go away, and we've all got to change the way we live. You've all got to work from home and maintain social distancing, even though masks work. Yeah. So, let me get rid of that. Oh, where am I? Yeah, so thanks to the coronavirus, the biggest drop in CO2 emissions ever has happened. But we won't feel the effects for 20 years. The benefit of that drop will not be felt for 20 years. And in the meantime, what was emitted 20 years ago will be happening to us. The upshot of all of this is there is simply no way we can stick around and buy things, heat our homes, cook, drive, watch the atomic-powered internet or the fossil fuel-powered internet and keep the Queen, the Pope and the Masons alive. For them to stay alive, we have to get to zero emissions. You know, if you've heard of the IPCC document, I recommend you read it because it's a blueprint for your demise and the fucking up of this planet in order to maintain some kind of survival chance for the few elite people who've already started buying up farms in New Zealand and Patagonia, by the way. Do you think they're sticking about in the Northern Hemisphere for the zombie apocalypse and the I can't get any food, where's my fucking Molotov? Are they? Fuck. None of the world's wealthy, elite and powerful people are going to be hanging about with you when the shit goes down. They certainly won't be telling you what is going down. Which is a shame because I was hoping we'd put up a good fight. I really was. I was hoping that collectively humans would be educated enough and organised enough to combat climate change. In fact, for I would say 30 years, I personally, and you know my friends keep saying this, Deek, you've been going on about this for 30 years. That's right, I have. And nothing happened. People didn't stop. The various ecological movements, which are a fake and a fraud and a hoax, by the way, have not become mass movements. You're not going to solar power and windmill your way out of this shit. The billions, gazillions of tons of CO2 that are already in the atmosphere and are going to heat this planet up are going to destroy agriculture, create vast famines that wipe out billions of people, which will lead to wars, societal breakdown, more plague and famine, because you know you can't have war and starvation without a famine. Once you get weak, if you're weak by a lack of food or other lack of vitamins and minerals, you'll go down to a common cold. So I was hoping we'd put up a good fight. But even the green economy and the green dream is a lie and a hoax, and we're not even fighting that very well. Really, Greta Thunberg, really? That's the poster child of the climate change activist revolution? Greta Thunberg and Extinction Rebellion? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, we don't have, you know, respected respected scientific authorities leading the vanguard of the fight against our planet fucking climate change doom. We have Greta Thunberg, a slight autistic child banging on about polar bears, who, by the way, is promoting the same green hoax as, you know, BP and Shell and Exxon and all these other liars about the green economy and the renewable life we're all going to lead. Let me get the Penis Project up again. I like the Penis Project. Not that one. Ah, yes. Yeah, don't we have scientists leading the vanguard in our fight against the doom of climate change that is happening to us? Really? No, we've got Greta Thunberg, who is telling you that if you lower emissions, you lower your emissions, you take responsibility for your carbon output. What's happened to me? I'm floating in thin air there. Yeah. If you lower your emissions, buy a hybrid car and go vegan, everything will be fine. It won't. You're fucked. Everything will not be fine. You can go vegan if you want, buy a hybrid car. It's a lie. It's a hoax. The only way you're going to stay alive is by living somewhere that's got water that falls out of the sky and growing your own food. Because agriculture's going away. Government that gives a fuck about you is going away. What you've got to look forward to is a fascist global one world government, rationing, the end of your consumer dreams. The lifestyle that you ordered will definitely be out of stock. And where's the fight against it? Where's the revolution, baby? Where are the people leading the good fight? And what would the good fight look like anyway? Since most of the people I encounter on the internet couldn't rub two science facts together to get a brain fart. Here we are, all pishing on about the moon hoax and chemtrails, Planet X, Nibiru, and whether or not somebody's got it in for President Trump, while our planet is being fried by industrial fascists who have now decided that they're going to let us die so that they can survive if they manage to fix the fuck up they created. It's a wonderful world. So, I hope you're not looking forward to the Venus Project future, because that ain't going to happen where some brown person digs up your minerals so you can live in a leotard and have a holographic iPhone. That ain't going to happen. Your future's short term more like Mad Max, long time kind of like a barbecue, and you're the meat. Okay, well, I think that's about it for this week. And since I started with a song, I'm going to leave you with a song. I hope the audio and video were better in this show than the last one. Somebody wants the human race to suffer. You will definitely get your wish. The moon landing, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Greta, she's not a lying scumbag. She's just like a lot of people. She doesn't really know what's going on. And I don't blame anybody. I don't want anybody to think that I think somebody is to blame for this. I don't blame the fossil fuel companies for trying to keep their very lucrative business going on for as long as possible. I don't blame the Queen and the royal family for trying to maintain their status for as long as possible. I don't blame the hordes of willfully ignorant and poorly educated masses who don't know what the fuck is going on anyway. I mean, how can you blame people who don't even know what's going on? I mean, I do hold people, I guess, a degree responsible for finding out what the fuck is going on. It's a personal responsibility thing, man. Find out what's going on. It could help. And while you're doing it, you can disobey the government. You can disobey the mob. You can disobey your orders. You can disobey your God. You can live your own life. You can live it your own way. And if they try to stop you or get in your way, you can disobey the government, disobey the mob. You can disobey your orders. You can disobey your God. You can live your own life, live it your own way. You can disobey the Muslims. You can disobey the Jews. You can disobey the Christians. You can disobey me too. You can live your own life. You can live it your own way. And If they try to stop you, you can disobey. Yeah, you can disobey the Muslims, disobey the Jews, you can disobey the Christians, you can disobey me too. You can live your own life, live it your own way. You can disobey opinion, you can disobey belief. And if you really want to, you can disobey the police. You can disobey your history. You can disobey before. And if you really got to, you can disobey the law. Yeah, you can disobey the government, disobey the mob, you can disobey your orders, you can disobey your God. You can live your own life, live it your own way. Yeah, you can live your own life, live it your own way. Thanks for watching. See you next week for the end of the world.